Six Nations. They don't want to give that away, and it's in a way has that kind of plugged the gaps a little bit, the Triple Crown for Ireland. You know, where they haven't been winning the championship, they have been able to take some silverware back home.
It would have plugged the gaps in the past, but the championship is everything now, and Ireland still hold hopes of having that, and maybe taking this one as well. But they're looking for the RBS championship instead.
Preparing ourselves here for Mary McAleese to make her way down to meet the players. Of course, we'll have the President's address here as well. Maybe Brian O'Driscoll realised how long these introductions were taking and decided actually keeping the tracksuit on isn't such a bad idea.
A little blast of Carmina Burana in the background.
Does it raise the hairs in the back of your neck?
It's the few that I have there. I just love it. I think this is a theatre for sport. It's fantastic.
This is what I miss about the game, is the expectation just before kick-off. It is, you can't replace it. It is a fantastic feeling.
Mary McAleese.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand for the presidential salute?
McAleese walking in now to meet the players. And you're just saying there, Jonathan, about this is what you miss, the anticipation and these moments, Keith, as an international player where you're getting focused and prepared.
One of my last games against Wales, Peter Clohessy, the prop, said to me beforehand, and this time basically said, Woody, why would we put ourselves through this? And then 2 seconds later there's a bit of a burst from the crowd, and that's why. It is almost fear and excitement beyond all belief. It's an incredible feeling.
And of course these Wales players coming here for the first time to Croke Park as well.
First of all, I think going to Lansdowne Road was special, but it's a difficult place to go and play Lansdowne Road. The crowd's on top of you. You feel as if you're playing against 20 Irishmen. So this might suit Wales. I think it's an open arena.
A little bit more like the Millennium Stadium.
Yeah, bigger. So it's a huge game, and again, if the forwards can just raise the game a little bit. England first half, they were put away, and they've got to really compete. And if they're in the game, 20 minutes to go, Hook might be introduced, and Dwayne Peel. I think they're stronger on the bench than the Irish with the injuries that they've had.
There's a different perspective as well for the kickers and for Jones kicking to touch, because the touchline is about 25 yards from the first seat, and it's a very different and alternative view.
We've been interested in how the introductions happened at Ireland, haven't we, Keith, in the last few weeks? And Keith has observed that Brian O'Driscoll has gone down the line very quickly today. He's just left Mary McAleese to it. She knows her way around that team now.
Knows them all.
She doesn't need to be reintroduced to them time and time again. And it is a great honour, and it's a lovely thing, and it is something special about sport because it is different.
To me, one key tactic today, with Hogan coming in, they like kicking the ball to the corners, they've scored many tries. Today there's a distinct advantage with height for both wingers over the right wingers, and again, you need to put pressure on O'Gara. You can't just leave him sitting in that pocket.
Well, Hogan back in, of course, because of the changes around Ireland in the backs, which resulted, of course, was it going to be Gervin Dempsey? Was it going to be Jordan Murphy? In fact, it was neither. Carney's moved to full-back. What do you make of that?
There has been a view that Carney would be the full-back in the coming years anyway, so he gets a chance an awful lot earlier. He's a comfortable full-back. He's got a very cultured left boot. It gives a difference in another kicking option as well, and I think he'll be fine. Shane Horgan does offer something very different. He's 6'4", fantastically awkward, a nuisance to play against.
Absolutely, and of course Paul O'Connell as well, back in the starting lineup. He was on the bench against Scotland.
He didn't have a good World Cup. It upset him heavily. He's been injured since, and he'd like to really have a huge input.
OK, we're just about ready for the anthem, so let's hand over to our commentary team, Philip Matthews and Nick Mullins.
Thanks very much, Gabby. It's a devilishly early start for a game of rugby, isn't it? Not just the resolve of the players that's being tested this lunchtime. A fair proportion of the 76,000 fans seem to be enjoying the cultural delights of Dublin last night, and for one or two getting out of bed this morning, let alone making it here in time for kick-off, will have been a major challenge. Breakfast or brunch and a last hopeful search for tickets will have occupied the morning. There is not a seat to be had in Croke Park. And this promises to be an exceptional game of rugby.
Played for us today by the Army No. 1 band and the Garda band.
Did you notice who'd been to the barbers on his day off on Wednesday? Adam Jones. The curly locks have gone, the dreads are in. Here come Ireland's two tunes, the official national anthem, followed by Ireland's call, North and South combined. Soldier song. This is Ireland's call, introduced at the World Cup in 1995 to bring the country and the players together. Symphonies, we're done with the build-up. this is the match. And bit by bit, Ireland slowly evolving the team that flopped at the World Cup. Jamie Heaslip's really stood out at number 8, but it's the return of an old stager that catches the eye today. Paul O'Connell's influence will be felt all over the pitch, especially at line-out time. Injuries to Jordan Murphy and Gervin Dempsey have prompted a serious reshuffle in the back 3. Shane Horgan returns on the right wing. Tommy Bowe switches to the left. 21-year-old Rob Kearney starts a test at fullback for the first time. Late change for Wales. Hooker Hugh Bennett has gone down with the lurgy, so Matthew Rees is promoted from the bench. He'll pack down with Adam Jones, who's back again at 3. In the second row, Alan Wynne-Jones is fit to go again. 2 big selection calls at 9 and 10. The physical presence of Mike Phillips, preferred to Dwayne Peel at scrum half. The experience and control of Stephen Jones keeps him ahead of James Hook at fly half. The replacements, Ireland's Luke Fitzgerald will have a nervous wait for his first introduction to this Six Nations jamboree. Peel and Hook are asked to bide their time before they can exert any influence on proceedings. Cardiff hooker Gareth Williams only flew in last night. England's Wayne Barnes, a barrister by trade, is in charge of law and order. Christoph Burdos and Peter Allen are flying the flags. And we've got the best weather of the day. A storm a couple of hours ago. It is really breezy though, and that will be a big factor on the penultimate weekend of the RBS Six Nations. Ireland and Wales still both on course, let's not forget, for the Triple Crown. Wales though still eyeing the Grand Slam, and this promises to be very special as Ronan O'Gara gets us underway. Ireland in the green, Wales in the red. We're all in sunshine, and the ball is in the arms of Jonathan Thomas, the Osprey winning his 43rd cap. Back to Lee Byrne, had his best game for Wales against Italy in the last outing, his first clearing touch. It'll be interesting to see how often Wales actually kick the ball into touch. Their line-out has been terrible, and they've conceded the first penalty as well. They've been patting themselves on the back over the last couple of weeks about their discipline. But immediately, Wayne Barnes, who is particularly hot on the breakdown and players rolling away, has penalised Wales, and Ireland have the first possible kick at goal. We'll see if O'Gara goes for it. It might just be a little bit breezy, and it certainly looks as if O'Gara is going to punt this into touch rather than go for the opportunity of 3 points that were on offer.
Yeah, well, there's a little bit of a grin blowing into O'Gara's face there. Ireland playing into this breeze, so first chance to look at the line, as you said earlier on there, Nick. I think that was a deliberate decision by Lee Byrne not to kick to touch, and this is a key area. Ireland must dominate this line-out if they're going to win this game. They ceded 70% of possession to Scotland. They won't get away against a better Welsh defence today.
Ball taken in by Donncha O'Callaghan. They brought back Rory Best, the Ulsterman, to try and stabilise the throwing in at the line-out. Bernard Jackman back on the bench today. As we've been saying, they've got Paul O'Connell involved as well. Suspicion that the Irish line-out will be more accurate than the Welsh. We'll see as the game wears on.
And away, no hands.
So much anticipation leading up to this game. So much talk about the coaches. Too much talk about the coaches, to be absolutely honest. It's about the players. And there are lots of Welshmen out there who have been hurt down the years, in recent years, coming to Dublin. They've got one or two things to prove as well. They've got some defending to do at the moment. This defence drilled now by Sean Edwards. Ireland looking to make early perforations with Best the hooker.
Don't dive in. Back you come, six green, come back. 6 green.
Well, they're going route one here, Ireland, and so far this Welsh defence, particularly around the fringe, is very good. They're not getting any change out of it at all.
It's relatively slow coming back the ball as well, isn't it? Which gives Wales plenty of time to get that defensive line in order. Ireland trying the muscular stuff for the time being. Happy to keep it within the forwards.
Hands away now.
That's the Welsh 22.
No hands, please, one red.
Now will Owen Redden launch the backs. Not just yet.
Hands away.
Another drive from the hooker, Rory Best. Patient stuff, this.
And roll red. Don't tread on it.
Well, maybe Ireland just want to keep this tight into the wind. They don't want an open, wide, unstructured game. That would play into Wales's hands. And so far, Wales coping with it very well.
Ball was already
O'Gara, like the rest of us, waiting for the ball to be given some air. Now Ireland's forwards look like they've lost the ball. It's loose, but they get it back. Penalties coming. There might be more for Ireland. Best little ball inside. All that hard work and endeavour. It leads to the penalty. It looked for a second as if they'd lost the ball. But Wales have conceded the penalty, and now surely this one will be kicked.
Well, Wayne Barnes just signalling that was played back with a hand. I think that's a little, well, it was a hand on the floor, more importantly. It wasn't Matthew Rees that was pinged there. It was a hand on the floor.
I'll talk to you in a moment, Brian. Not now.
Now, a good early indication that Sean Edwards has worked an awful lot on this Welsh defence close in. He's expecting Ireland to take them on up front. And he has not been disappointed there. By and large, they stood up well, but just a little bit of indiscipline gives O'Gara his first three-point opportunity. And Ireland have to make the most of this in the first half. Any opportunity, any territory they get, because this wind is fairly stiff into their faces.
Tom, back foot, stay on this.
Ronan O'Gara, one of 5 players to be given their Ireland debuts under Warren Gatland back in 2000 against Scotland. Horgan, Stringer, Hayes and Easterby all involved. Now looking to kick 3 points in the face of the man who gave him his first test opportunity. And he's done it. And Ireland ahead. All the muscle and endeavour of the pack leading to the first 3 points for Ronan O'Gara and for Eddie O'Sullivan's Ireland. Early things to ponder for the man now in the Welsh box, Warren Gatland. Ireland 3, Wales 0, 5 minutes played.
Scored by Ronan O'Gara.
Yeah, well, that'll be a pleasing start for O'Sullivan. And when you look at it, you've got 2 coaches here. There are polar opposites. Gatland talks about loyalty, but he's loyalty to performance, whereas O'Sullivan might have been criticised in the past for being a bit over-loyal and has been forced to make some of the changes, which, to be honest, has been a breath of fresh air into this Ireland team and has really, I think, been the catalyst for this resurgence since the World Cup. Now, line-out just on the 10-metre line. It's Wales. Wales really need to shore up this line-out. They're going to need to provide predictable possession for Stephen Jones if he's going to be able to dictate this game.
Less than ideal build-up for Matthew Rees, but the first throw was good and flat, and it quickly finds its way to Gavin Henson, who has quietly and efficiently been rebuilding himself at test match level. Been really impressed with the way he's gone about his business at the start of this championship. That lovely blend between Henson and Shanklin, but the ball has been spilled. Penalty coming, turnover for Ireland, taken quickly by Redden. It's become a feature of Ireland's play in this championship. The Wasps scrum half, never needing a second invitation. That's the halfway line. Redden to O'Gara. Chip into space, a test for Shane Williams, just a little too far for Shane Horgan. But an early indication there that Ireland are trying to get that mismatch going on the wing between the tall Shane Horgan and the small Shane Williams, 6'4" against 5'8", and I suspect that's a contest we're going to see more of.
Yes, it's not the classic situation for the crossfield kick into Horgan's arms, but it's a good percentage ball for O'Gara. They'll want this pack to really pressurise this Welsh line-out.
2 from 2 so far for Wales.
One-man sack. Stay on
Jonathan
side.
Thomas at the front of the line-up was the option, and Mike Phillips starting at scrum half, launches high into the arms of that man Horgan.
And away! Back feet,
How much this will become the battle of the Shanes today.
All on.
O'Gara, interesting kick, carries on the breeze. A real test this for Lee Byrne. Did so well to keep his eye on the ball, and what's more, then deliver it back on the red side. This is Henson. Taken on by Mark Jones. Got Shanklin back inside, Jones with the kick over. Jones has driven Ireland back into their 22. Anxious then not to give away the penalty. It comes back on the green side.
Come on side, come on side.
Again, patient stuff from Ireland. No rush. Taken on by O'Callaghan.
Stay on. And away 5, let go, no problem.
No rush to clear these breakdowns, are they, Ireland? Get the tee out, and Open a packet of biscuits there.
Yeah, well, Wales are really
time.
not committing any significant numbers to the rucks. They're really concentrating on defending the fringes, and that's where they're placing their forwards. They're not being particularly aggressive, and that's already been shown because Ireland have had a couple of turnovers already. Ireland are contesting the rucks a lot more directly.
Ronan O'Gara clears the touch. Now, not so long ago, Colin Jarvis would have been playing in this game. Today, he's with us down on the touchline. Where's this game going to be won and lost, Colin?
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear that.
Where's the game going to be won and lost?
Oh, I think Ireland have already shown a lot of control up front. You know, the ball hasn't gone out to Ronan early doors. They're showing that their forwards are going to lead the way through Wales, whereas Wales, with their first possession, turned over the ball, which is not an ideal start for them.
More from Colin as the match wears on. The line out is starting well, though. That wasn't great. All went forward.
Back we come. First one, forward pass from.
A real sense that for Wales, the travelling has often been more fun than the arriving when it's come to Dublin in recent years. Not won in this city since April Fool's Day 2000, the days of Scott Gibbs and Alan Bateman and Neil Jenkins. That's how long ago it is.
Engage. Far side, I don't know. I'm going to get you a little closer together, okay? Little closer together, thank you.
Wales, the best part of 3/4 of a stone heavier. And as we say so often, it's not necessarily about the weight, it's the technique. However, on that occasion, penalty against the binding of John Hayes. Penalty for Wales, immediate opportunity to square things up.
Well, John Hayes up against Gethin Jenkins today. And that's going to be a different proposition for John Hayes. Gethin Jenkins, that's a real tactical decision by Gatland. They really want to try and impose themselves at scrum time, albeit that scrums these days less of an issue than lineouts. If anything, the lineouts are going to decide this game, and so far both the Welsh and the Irish line, both Wales and Ireland coming into this game without what they'd call solid, strong lineouts, but they've both been able to secure possession so far.
Oh, dear me. An indication may be of the wind that is blowing from top right of our screen to bottom left as we look out. It's not as strong as it was a couple of hours ago. You can see there from the flags that well, it comes and goes, but I wonder how much Stephen Jones was affected there. Whatever, the chance to draw level has gone.
It hasn't been put in play. It's the same ball. It's the same kick. It hasn't crossed the line. It's still a 22. Still a 22.
Well, ball didn't cross to 22, so it's been asked to take it again. But just a little bit of sign that Ireland into this breeze, where possible, will want to keep the ball in hand. We've seen it already with Redden taking quick penalties. They want to keep Wales guessing.
Phillips into Henson, over halfway. Wales clearing the ball effectively for Phillips to resuscitate the move. Jones to Jonathan Thomas, who is pointed forward by his fly half. Phillips back to Matthew Rees, expected to start the game on the bench, but he's playing because Hugh Bennett not feeling too well. Jones to Ryan Jones, the captain, playing in his first ever Test match in Dublin. So looking forward to this moment. Phillips to Shane Williams. Runs into his own player. Runs into Ian Goff, who is a sizable object.
For the second time there, Wales, if they'd moved that ball wider quicker, had men in numbers on the far side. Ireland defending very, very tight at the moment. They're going to have a look at that. That was Williams just stepping inside and unfortunately into his own man. That's a little bit of a let-off for Ireland there, with danger signs early on.
Stay bound, 6 red, stay on. Stay on, 6 red, full on, bind!
Redden again into space, again inviting Horgan to stretch his legs, but it was much too close to Shane, to Lee Byrne, and again he doesn't go for touch, happy just to play the territory. And this is Ireland's new fullback, Rob Kearney, the Leinster man. And that's a great kick. Stephen Jones is boxed back, he's got Shane Williams in support. Mark Jones did so well. Really under pressure there.
No, don't touch him.
A little swarm of green bees were closing him down, but kept his head, kept the ball, And Stephen Jones fires the ball away and finds touch.
Perfect scrummage. Thank you, John.
Oh yeah, Tommy Bowe just been wrong-footed there.
Scrummage as well this side. Perfect. Thank you. Good scrummage.
Just a little indication of the rough
got
and
the line
tumble
back.
and just how hard Test match rugby is these days. If you were watching Wales-Italy with us a couple of weeks ago, Ian
Receiver.
Goff said he lost 5 kilograms, 3/4 of a stone during the course of the match. It's not a bad diet plan, is it? It's not one that you will find in your glossy magazine, I suspect, but just an indication
Back
of
you go now, red
how
four.
much effort goes into Test match rugby these days for big forwards like Ian Goff.
Hands away. Just back feet, make sure.
That's halfway.
And release one, you're off your feet.
It's been a really cagey start, hasn't it?
But it has, and again you can see Wales not committing men to the ruck to challenge. They're really concentrating on the fringes.
Hands away.
So much work has gone into this Welsh defence, but suddenly John Hayes found a large hole, and it would need to be a large hole for him to go through it, but it was there, and O'Driscoll, ball back inside to Tommy Bowe, the Ulsterman.
Hands away now, Martin. Thank you. He kept language.
Redden, O'Driscoll rebounds off Shanklin. Moment of panic for Redden. Didn't have too many options there,
Wait.
and actually did as well as he could do as Byrne goes back.
Bring them on, please.
I think the plan is clear, isn't it? Wales
Onside.
don't want to give Ireland too many line-outs. O'Gara again, forcing Williams backwards, and O'Gara will be happy now for his pack to try and challenge the Welsh line-out defensively.
Yeah, it's okay, we're all here now.
Yes, O'Gara choosing to kick 9 to Jones' 7. That displays nothing really in the 2. Both lineouts firing pretty well so far, but Wales cutting this one to 4. So they obviously feel in this position they're going to need to do that against a defensive Irish lineout.
It was scruffy,
Hands away.
but Wales retain their 100% line-out record. 4 from 4.
Okay, all on side.
Phillips,
Christoph, watch him stand up.
one big player to another. Horgan. Neat play from Horgan, who was nursing some sore ribs at the start of the championship. Starting a game for the first time today. O'Gara, cross kick, another test for Byrne. Jones there to help out as well, the slightly taller of the two. Jones seeing off the challenge of O'Driscoll, and he called for the mark as well. A couple of solid defensive moments from Mark Jones under enormous pressure over the last couple of minutes.
Yes, that was a perfectly weighted kick by O'Gara. They were getting man on ball at the same time, but the call was made in the air. That's a safe catch, and it was O'Driscoll making the chase on that occasion. No, he's found touch. Another line out, and so far they've been fairly comfortable, both sides winning their own ball. Well, this is a good attacking position now from Ireland. They will want to attack from set pieces and not give Wales an opportunity to organise that blanket defence.
Yeah, I'll come at the back. I've just been at the fringe at the moment. I'll come at the back. On your ball.
Well, Stephen Jones, who's just spoilt an otherwise impeccable Welsh kicking record in the championship so far, because this missed penalty was the first they've missed in the championship. 21 out of 21 up to that point, and you may well recognise Neil Jenkins as well on the left-hand side, just having a little word with Stephen Jones there. Neil Jenkins, who is, for the time being, the world record point scorer, but I wonder for how much longer. Jonny Wilkinson needs one more point at Murrayfield later on, and Neil Jenkins will become the second highest point scorer in Test match history. Irish line out, won by O'Callaghan, back to something approaching his best again. He really is starting to fizz, O'Callaghan.
And some more, do not collapse.
After all the talk about dodgy line-outs before the match, both sides are giving us a masterclass when it comes to throwing the darts in at the moment.
Not the head, not the head. Through the middle, agreed.
Well, that's been well defended by Wales. As soon as the ball was won, they got Ireland on the back foot, and it's going to be slow ball again for Ireland. That's what they want to do.
The roar for the shove by the forwards.
Release 9.
Might not look much, but it's such hard work for these forwards. It's energy-sapping stuff. All this hard work in the pack. will hopefully pay off later on. And another penalty to Ireland.
He's got to make a better effort. He decides to fall on the wrong side. He's got to make a decision to then roll away. At 3 occasions when they've been attacking, you've given away penalties. OK?
Well, Wayne Barnes being very, very clear there. Wales need to make an effort to roll away. Jonathan Thomas makes the tackle, but he needs to be making a better effort to get out of the way of that ball. That's the third time he says he's done it, and it's the next option is the yellow card.
And what will really frustrate Shaun Edwards more than anything is that down in Cardiff on Tuesday, they were practicing rolling away from the tackle and making an effort and making a big grand gesture. Put your arms in the air or something, anything, to avoid giving the referee the option of penalising you for just that thing. And Jonathan Thomas will be as furious as Shaun Edwards for giving O'Gara the opportunity to double Ireland's lead. Two from two. Perfect. Ireland have taken their chances in the first quarter. Wales have paid for their indiscipline. 2 penalties, Ireland 6, Wales 0.
Yes, largely due to the accuracy of O'Gara versus Jones, albeit that O'Gara's had a couple of opportunities. Nothing too expansive from Ireland so far, just want to play it fairly tight into the wind. No great ambition, aside from 1 or 2 counter-attacking opportunities.
Long restart from Stephen Jones gave Rob Kearney plenty of time to first shield his eyes from the sun that is blinding him at the moment, and then to gather and to clear. Real prospect, Rob Kearney, 21-year-old, getting his opportunity at fullback with Murphy and Dempsey injured.
Receiver at the tail.
He initially thought when Dennis Hickey retired that the wing might be his option, but he really wants to play at fullback long term, and he's positioning himself now for this latest Welsh thrust as Tom Shanklin rolls on. Stephen Jones. Ball went forward. It's 1 or 2 annoying, niggling errors from the Welsh that will be really, really angering them.
That's right, because they had lined up the tactics from Wales very, very clear. From set pieces, they're going wide and they're packing the wide side. They're trying to get a lot of width on the ball, but those turnovers are costing them possession because Ireland were outnumbered yet again on that wide side.
Both sides come closer then if you want it closer. I'll wait till you're reset. When you're happy. You tell me when you're happy. Okay, crouch.
Quarter of the match done in the Dublin sunshine. Ireland leading by 6 points to 0.
Stay on, 6 red. No, there's the ball. Don't touch anyone with your feet. No need.
Redden to O'Gara. Again, the little chip over Shane Williams into the space that he sensed was behind. Oh, and that corner flag could only have been made in Ireland.
Well, what Wayne Barnes was checking there was, did the ball hit the line first or the flag post first? If it hits the flag post first, it would have been deemed to have been dead.
Out of play.
Out of play, exactly. And that would have been a scrum back from where it was kicked. Oh, inches in that decision.
Receiver. One out the line.
That was just a matter of inches, wasn't it? And this is now a big line out nonetheless for Matthew Rees. The Llanelli Scarlet, and it's won by Paul O'Connell, but ball went forward. There, though, an indication of O'Connell's worth in the line out and the threat he poses.
Well, it looked at first glance like O'Connell tried to flip that down and play it, but he just failed to hang on to it. If that had stuck, been a lot more dangerous for Wales.
Barnes just going around to the opposite side to have a look at the confrontation between Adam Jones and Marcus Horan.
All the feet went away here. ground's been dug up a little bit. On your body, make sure we bind. Crouch, touch, pause, engage. Bind 7, bind 7.
Welsh line-up having to work hard there. And Ryan Jones now having to work very hard to get it back on his teammate's side. There it is, though, for Phillips. Byrne won't have long. That left boot is such a useful weapon in defence, though. Terrifically taken by Carney, however. This is Bow.
Hands away, Red!
Redden. Shane Horgan. Big hole. Horgan, big man. Oh, just held up. Just held up. He was running against the grain. We're going to have a look.
Well, it was a great little limited space. It was a lovely dummy by Horgan. He makes a decision early to cut back in, and Lee Byrne reads it and just slows him up enough for Phillips to get in there. No, that's short. It would have been slightly against the run of play and opportunistic, but it was made by Redden, the chance. That's what he offers.
The tackle is important from Mike Phillips, isn't it? And any other scrum half, Horgan would surely have scored. If that had been Dwayne Peel wearing the 9, Ireland would now be celebrating a try, but it isn't.
That's right. I just think Horgan made his decision too early in cutting in from Lee Byrne, allowed him to slow himself up, and that gave Phillips time to make the tackle. Well, from that angle you can't see it, but it's short of the line.
Is that just water, fella?
Scotland's David Changling is looking at these pictures in our truck in the car park.
No, you'd have to say that's short of the line, wouldn't you?
That's short. Initial instinct with the tackle told you that he'd probably come up just short, but it was mightily close.
It is short of the line, and the ball is then knocked on by the attacking team. Restart on the 5 with a scrum to the defence.
So just to confirm, that is a knock-on by green, scrum red.
Confirmed.
No try. Scrum, knock on.
Horgan won't get any closer than that without scoring, but hats off to Mike Phillips because he saved the try. Still pressure though for Wales. They struggled to clear the defensive scrum before, and they've got another one now.
Keep the hips in. Stand up. There's nothing. Stand up. That doesn't happen again. Bind on the second row. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage. Bind 7.
It's not the most secure of Welsh scrums, and again Ryan Jones has to try and do some rebuilding work. Phillips. Shane Williams. Williams against Redden. Williams gets the bounce. Redden makes the tackle. That was hard work for Wales, but they got out of their own 22 finally, and now they win the penalty.
Well, they got out of their 22 without having to kick to touch and give Ireland another attacking position in their 22. Wonderful confidence by Shane Williams. He knows he's got the pace to get past Redden. And Ireland give away the penalty.
What a kick from Stephen Jones. Didn't allow himself any room for error, but look where it's taken Wales. And how close was he to scoring the try?
Just hold a second. Just hold a second. Just hold him a second. Let me put his boot on.
No, he'll be very happy to kick to touch when he's kicking deep in those positions and pinning Ireland back. They're very clear that they don't want to do that deep in their own half. They want to keep that ball in play and force Ireland to put it out of play. And so far it's worked fairly well for them.
Yeah, no problem. Of course, you get in position. Who's your receiver? Thank you. Don't go in early.
Marked his arrival on the Six Nations scene in this fixture last season.
Step, please. Just step. Just a gap.
Fixture that Ireland won. You might recall the try by Rory Best after just 46 seconds. This, though, an opportunity for Wales. And it's a penalty.
You called it down. It stopped a fair contest. Let's go.
Well, I'm not sure who Wayne Barnes was pointing at there, but it was her pulling down. Was it Dennis Leamy?
It was Jamie Heasley, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right at the back, maybe.
Yeah.
Has to be a fair contest. You're not allowed to take players out as they get themselves airborne.
Well, that first kick by Jones was just a missed kick, really. Maybe a lack of concentration. It shouldn't have troubled him. This one, he's such a professional. I don't see him to be affected by the first kick. He's got a little bit of wind behind him, so he'll probably have to set it just inside the far right-hand post. Oh, it's swirling and it's difficult to predict.
The wind is coming over his right shoulder as he looks, so from top right to bottom left as we look at that picture. It's what Jones has to gauge. And that time he gauges it to perfection. And Wales are on the board for the first time. It's taken 26 minutes, but it's now Ireland 6, Wales 3.
Ireland 6, Wales 3.
Yes, there's still really nothing in this. It's been a fairly tame affair so far, but I've just sensed that if Wales can just get a little bit more territory, a bit more consistent possession, the way they're packing the wide side and the width that they're trying to get on the game, I think that's going to tell later on in the game. I expect them to make the most of that.
Back you go, 4.
Restart taken by Jonathan Thomas. Managed to shrug off the challenge to make sure the ball belongs still to Wales, and Byrne again off that booming left boot. Ball went backwards off the hands of Dennis Levy. Carney.
There you go.
Not the first time we've seen the Gary Owen. Not the first time the Welsh defence has dealt with it well. That kick wasn't the best, though. And this is young Andrew Trimble, who has really gummed up Ireland's midfield effectively since arriving on the scene, moving in from the wing when Gordon Darcy was injured in the opening match. He and O'Driscoll beginning to gel very nicely.
Wait for him,
Byrne again.
Yeah, go on.
Or is that going to go too far? I don't think so. Just a little dab down. And Ireland can restart from their own 22. Inventive from Redden. This is Horgan. Oh, Carney just couldn't gather. Line out taken quickly. Shane Horgan is down with an injury on the touchline, which is why there's some concern.
Just stop the watch a second.
This is first start of the championship after making his way back from a rib injury, but as we can see, the injury on this occasion is significantly higher, and there's some concern about the blow he took to his head.
Okay, it's the head. Let me just check it. Oh, okay, 1 second. I'll decide.
So you can see what happened here, Phil.
Well, it doesn't appear. We'd need to see the tackle because there's nothing there after the tackle.
Scrum your scrum. Stay tight.
Yeah, it looks like a clash of heads with Rob Carney, who was coming in and was just tackled into touch.
Crouch. Come up and come closer. Okay, Red, you happy? Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
Morgan's back on his feet, though.
Stay nice.
Let's have the scrum. Oh.
Offside. You're stood in front of the ball.
Well, Wayne Barnes just telling O'Redden that he was in front of the ball. He's got to stay behind that ball. Now, I think that's unlucky. I don't think that was a penalty.
That's why you got the penalty.
Just to explain that for those who perhaps aren't entirely sure about rugby's myriad laws, there's an offside line that's drawn through that ball, and it obviously moves every time the ball moves, and as the scrum half, you're allowed to do whatever work you want to do to disrupt behind that line on your side of the ball, but you're not allowed to walk in front of it, and that's what Wayne Barnes decided Owen Redden had done. This to draw things level. Not for the first time. Jones errs with his kick. Wales might have been ahead, but they're not. They still trail by 6 points to 3. Let's get a bird's eye view from the touchline. What are you seeing, Colin Jarvis?
Well, you can see now that Wales have kind of got back into the pattern they played in the last few games. They've steadied themselves. It's not the knock-ons, it's not the loss of possession, but unfortunately, they're just not getting the points from the territory.
Yeah, they've muscled their way back into this game, and they are enjoying the bulk of the territory for the time being, approaching the half-hour mark. Phillips to Jones. Takes on the Irish defence.
Hands away now, Green.
Phillips there again. This is Martin Williams.
No hands, Green.
One of those carrying the scars from 3 hefty defeats in this city on their last 3 visits, Martin Williams. This is Tom Shanklin. Family all up from Tenby a couple of weeks ago to watch him in his 50th cap and then mark it with that interception try against Italy.
Hands away.
Wales just beginning to dig themselves back into this, though. This is Henson. Now first opportunity to run with the ball. Lee Byrne has marked Jones outside. Sense that Jones was marked by Tommy Bowe, so they're happy to take the contact again, and no one is more happy than the enormous frame of Mike Phillips.
Hands off, Green.
Well, one of Wales' best attacking opportunities of the half so far. There haven't been that many, but they're driving purposefully with the ball in hand now. Stephen Jones, Shane Williams popping up in midfield. Ryan Jones on his shoulder.
Ball still in, ball still in.
Phillips, disrupted by O'Connell, manages to get the ball away to Williams, though, who loses the ball. And Redden gratefully clears. Lee Byrne needs to be aware that Shane Horgan is interested in having a word with him.
And away now.
The more I see of Lee Byrne, though, the more impressed I am. Very, very cool. Make sure that Wales win back the ball. Ryan Jones to Martin Williams. Quick hands to Alan Wynne-Jones. Mark Jones rescues things on halfway.
Hands away, Green!
It's brighter stuff from Wales, though. Ireland being tested really for the first time.
Hands off, Green, you're off your feet.
Driven forward by the white-booted Jonathan Thomas. Phillips to Gough, slimmer of the year.
Hands off, thank you.
Into the final 10 minutes of the first half. It's been a cagey old affair.
It's a run, no hands.
Shane Williams to Tom Shanklin. Byrne outside, real opportunity. Byrne shepherded into touch by Rob Kearney.
Yes, and yet again, anytime Wales are able to get widths on the ball, they're really stretching this out. Look at the numbers. That's a 4-2 there. And they've been consistently trying to do that all day. Anytime they have a possession with a good wide side, they're really packing the wide side. And that won't be lost on Gatland and Edwards at half-time. That's something they'll want to improve on in the second half, but Ireland will want to watch that.
Ireland have cut it to a 4-man line-out. Paul O'Connell standing in the scrum half position. Donncha O'Callaghan gathers.
One man sack. Don't touch him on the floor. Back you go.
Both line-ups seem so much secure. It's giving the teams a base from which to work. Long clearing kick. Now, is Lee Byrne limping, or is that just a result of the crash he took when he was hammered into touch? We will see. We'll keep an eye on that, though.
No, as you say, though, he's well put together. Nick, he's been outstanding this year and figured probably already today.
Terrific line-out ball from Alan Wynne-Jones. Some momentum was lost as Phillips struggled to gather the ball in initially. Shane Williams, though, releasing again for Wales. Gough! Oh, lovely play. Ryan Jones, the captain. Support is up quickly. Wales are really coming back into this one. That was behind Stephen Jones. Had to readjust, but there are so many men clear on the wide right-hand side. Ball was intended for Martin Williams. And another penalty. There was a knock-on in the end off the arm of Martin Williams. But for the second time in quick succession, Wales have butchered a real opportunity.
Well, it was butchered by the initial pass to Stephen Jones. Really gave Ireland far too much time to come across and close that up. But again, Wales exposing Ireland on the wide side. They're really packing that wide side, getting real width on the ball, using the full width of the pitch. And Ireland lucky not to concede a score there.
Yeah, I know. That's when I'm on that side, lads. This is when the problem
starting to open up, though, isn't it? Initially, it was all about the Irish pack keeping things tight, trying to work their way through the Welsh defence. Now the Welsh backs are starting to get some ball and starting to stretch their legs and asking serious questions for the first time.
And away, 7.
Immediate problem for Ireland is to get themselves out of this little pickle.
That's discipline, that's fine.
Redden to O'Gara, to O'Driscoll. Doesn't get that much distance.
No, but they're putting a lot of pressure on Ireland, and they're forcing Ireland now to kick to touch from within their own half, playing into this wind. Ireland will just want to see this clock run out to half-time. That's possession. There's not a huge amount to call in that. Territory slightly to Wales, but possession slightly in their favour as well. This is a good period for Wales.
Adam Jones. Had to give him a second look when he was training here yesterday. Didn't recognise him.
One man sack.
Wales secure the line-out as they have done all half.
Hands away. Hands are on. Hands away. No.
Now it's time for the Irish tight defence to be tested.
Go forward. It wasn't a more. Just a tackle.
Wales will have the scrum.
That ball was up, but it's just a tackle. Just a tackle. Lots of bodies on the floor. You'll scrum.
Yes, well, as you say, Wales now starting to impose a little bit of their game. They're showing quick hands in tight spaces, but also playing with great widths as well. And that's the way they need to structure this game if they're going to get the better of Ireland. Ireland will want to close this down again. And with the wind in their backs in the second half, they'll look to do that with O'Gara, I'd say.
Stay bound.
Phillips to Jones, to Henson, coming back in against the grain. Very, very flattened. Almost going under the radar, Gavin Henson. Phillips waits, as does Jones. This is Jonathan Thomas, providing the target in midfield. Can go right or left. They go right. Jones to Tom Shanklin. Cuts back inside. And this is Mark Jones. Wales will want something from all this possession and all this territory. For all the threat they've carried in the last 10 minutes, they're still behind, and they would want to try before half-time. Something to show for this. Are they going to get it? Martin Williams. Again, just a little bit isolated, and Wales need to get the numbers there quickly to win it back, which they do. Phillips now adds some pace. Stephen Jones, Shane Williams. No one better than Shane Williams to add pace, but this time it's the Irish defence that is of the cloying variety.
No hands, get this back you go.
Ball's there for Phillips. Reese the hooker.
Went through the middle.
Oh, taken on by O'Connell. Really unfortunate. He was trying to get Mike Phillips snagged up in the barbed wire, knocked on in the process. Wales will have the scrum, but at the moment it is hats off.
Yes, O'Connell won it, but he just wasn't able to clear it. Phillips reacted quickly.
There's Paul O'Connell, first test start since a troubled back. Came off the bench here against Scotland. Played a full 80 minutes, an effective 80 minutes for Munster and against Cardiff a week ago. And a problem for Tom Shanklin. Ankle problem by the looks of things. Bit of work for the physio Mark Davis to attend to. First Welshman to 50 caps, by the way, in case you were wondering, was Gareth Edwards. And there's one of his successors on the left-hand side, Dwayne Peel and James Hook, waiting to be sprung in the first half. Now, is this where it happened?
Well, it's difficult to see from there, but he's no obvious signs from that tackle. I don't think he's too troubled by it, but as we saw James Hook walking out the background, you'd say that the way the game is going at the moment, it would really suit Hook and his approach and his skills, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him quite early on in this second half. There's some good early signs here for Wales that if they can get more width and break down this game, then they'll do well.
Shanklin still limping, but he's staying on until half-time. Ryan Jones on the charge, 7 metres short. Wales straining everything for a try that they would probably deserve. They've dominated the last 10 minutes.
6 off your feet, playing the ball.
Ireland's defence being tested in a way it's not been tested in the championship so far, really. And penalty now for Wales, and they're going to cut their losses. They're going to go for the posts.
No, Jones really goes for that. Now Leamy is on his feet there. Well, I really can't see what the penalty there is for. The ball was only on the ground for a split second. The ball came back for Wales. I think that's unlucky again. There's a poor decision by Wayne Barnes. But it gives Wales another 3-point opportunity, and Jones should convert this one.
What's your recommendation? I've not seen it. It's a yellow card for yellow, red, and reverse penalty.
Now we're going to have a change of decision here, and it's going to be problems for Mike Phillips.
It's going to be your penalty.
Christoph Burdos has told Wayne Barnes,
Captain,
what he thinks happened here. Oh dear. Marcus Horan, the monsterman, was the man who got clobbered.
Yes, and whilst that didn't look like a particularly big strike to the hip, that will have jolted his back, Marcus Horan.
Had the penalty for the man deliberately playing the ball on the floor. As I've blown my whistle, player nothing to do with the ball. This man has dropped his knee onto his back. Touch judge report, recommendation, yellow card. He's costing 3 points and he goes to the bin.
Oh, a first half that was ending with so much hope and optimism for Wales is going to end with them down to 14 players, and what's more, the scrum half, Mike Phillips, is the man who's been binned. Just stupid. They should at least be level. They might be ahead. Instead, they're still behind and a man down. And we're bearing down on the final minute of this half. It remains 6-3. Just the 3 penalties. 2 for O'Gara, 1 for Stephen Jones. How on earth have Wales not scored with all that territory in possession?
Yes, they really should have made an awful lot more out of that. And now, as Ireland really want to hold on to the ball for the final few minutes, they don't want to give Wales any more opportunity. They don't want to kick to touch and give them a line out. So they're having to do this the hard way.
Wales have been happy with their discipline leading up to this game. They will not be happy with their discipline in this first 40 minutes.
Hands away, Red! That's a good clear out, not a problem.
He's an abrasive character, Mike Phillips. It's the feature of his game. It's what makes him such a special scrum half, his physical presence, but on that occasion he just overdid it.
Don't touch him. Hands away now, 7.
And we're back to where we were at the start of the first half, Philip. Ireland happy just to keep it tight, keep it close. And Redden into touch. Well, it's not been a classic. Ireland started well enough, took a 6-0 lead. Wales have fought their way back into it, but they'll be furious that they're not ahead.
They will be. They're very annoyed because going into the second half, they'll be into that wind. Ireland, for their part, will want to use that wind, but some early warning sounds from the wits that Wales were able to get into the game, particularly the last 10 minutes.
So half-time, Brian O'Driscoll's team just ahead. Ireland 6, Wales 3.
What do you want to see from them in the second half?
Well, the first 8 minutes are just hold on to the ball, don't give Ireland any ball till Mike Phillips comes on. And then, as I said, just on the edge of the rucks, create, and then one extra pass, and they could cut Ireland. But it's going to be a big 8 minutes for Wales now. I think O'Gara will come into his own and dictate play.
And if there was a certain amount of anger in the Welsh dressing room, you imagine Eddie O'Sullivan will see this as a great opportunity, this first 8 to 10 minutes.
Well, I think Ireland got away with it. Wales wasted a few chances. Ireland are in the game in a good spot.
OK, let's rejoin our commentary team. Philip Matthews and Nick Mullins.
Thanks a lot, Gabby. Members of Ireland's 1948 Grand Slam winning side were introduced to the crowd at half-time. 60 years since they beat Wales 6-3 in Belfast to seal the deal. Only one team this season can win a Grand Slam, and at half-time they are behind. And what's more, for the first 9 minutes of this second half, Wales will have to do without Mike Phillips. It's going to be fascinating to see how they fill in at scrum half. Specialist position, not easy to cover the cracks as Stephen Jones has us back underway. And this is the fullback, Rob Kearney. Solid introduction to life as a Test match fullback, Kearney, in that first 40 minutes. And O'Gara, now with the Dublin breeze behind him, finds a safe enough touch.
Yeah, so if I was a betting man, I'd have Martin Williams in at scrum half. But No early signs yet what's going to happen.
Keep that gap. Show me your receiver.
Doesn't look like it. They've cut the line out short, which means they can put Ryan Jones in or Jonathan Thomas in at scrum half.
Okay, that's right. Let's go. No, I agree.
Finding out the right number of balls on the pitch.
One man sack.
Mike Phillips watches Matthew Rees and Alan Wynne-Jones win the first line out, and it's Shane Williams who's stepping up into the scrum half position. Started his career there, played there in the early days for Neath at scrum half before he was converted as a winger. So shimmering Shane, now scrum half Shane for the time being.
No hands.
Driven forward by Rees. This is Jonathan Thomas.
And away.
One of Wales' less conspicuous players, Thomas, but really the work he does in those unseen corners and those little drives, very easy to miss his importance to the team as Stephen Jones, perhaps more obvious cog in the machine, drives Wales up towards the Irish 10-metre line.
Hands away!
Confirmation of the teams, no changes at half-time, beyond the fact that Mike Phillips starts it, sitting on the naughty boys bench. Williams has scrum half to Stephen Jones. This is Gavin Henson.
Hands away, 6, you're off your feet. Play on, backwards. And releasing Green 8.
Williams caught up in the brambles. Rees. Oh, the ball's loose.
And now no hands.
Well, you can see the strength of this breeze because Wales really adopting Ireland's tactics in the first half initially.
Martin Williams, few stronger with the ball in hand. Shane Williams did well there. Going back into his memory banks and working at scrum half once again. That's an easy thing to do. Starting on the wing. Now with an imaginary number 9 on his back for the time being. Oh, that was nice to Mark Jones.
And from the gate.
Alan Wynne-Jones takes the ball on back into the fray after he hurt his ankle against England, and this is Jonathan Thomas. It's not thrilling stuff from Wales, but it's proving effective.
And no hands. Don't dive in, you've lost.
Scrum half is testing the defence on the fringes. That time he ran into Dennis Leamy. This is the Wales 6, Thomas. And they've made real progress. 10 metres short now of the try line away to the right-hand side. And what's more, they're effectively playing out the time while they're down to 14 players, but it looks like Ireland have the turnover. Here it is. And Rob Kearney, off his left boot, doesn't get much with the clearance. Wales will have the line out.
Well, with that win behind him, all Kearney needed to do was put that ball the length of the pitch, not taking a leaf out of Lee Burns'
Let's go,
book.
Red. I don't know, that's why I'm having
Another just short of 5 minutes still for Mike Phillips.
He was thrilled to have won the vote ahead of Dwayne Peel for this match. So I wonder how much that yellow card will play in Warren Gatlin's thoughts as he ponders the final game against the French in Cardiff for what may yet be a potential Grand Slam clincher. Long, long way to go yet.
And away!
But Wales have started the second half like they finished the first, very much in the ascendancy and beginning to boss things in this area at the breakdown, winning lots of possession. Can they turn all this possession and territory finally into points?
Still in.
Ball was loose, and it's a penalty.
Come from the gate, please. No, come from the gate.
Well, Ireland's failure to clear the lines. Owen Redden really had no option but to throw that ball deep back to Rob Kearney, and Rob Kearney sliced his kick. It would have been very, very different if O'Gara had been up in the pocket and had hit the length of the pitch. And this pressure has now led to another opportunity for Stephen Jones to square the match, and you'd have to say he's not going to pass this one up.
Before then, though, there's some work to be done on the skipper, Ryan Jones.
Can you go and have a quick chat with him now? Just hold it to you.
It's all a bit subdued, really, isn't it? We came into this match with such high expectation, and but for a couple of little firecrackers, it's yet really to ignite.
Yes, the wind has certainly had an impact on the way both teams have approached the first half and what looks like approaching the second half. But I think it's going to be key for Ireland that they use this wind and they don't force themselves to make short touches, because Lee Byrne used that wind very effectively in the first half just to push Ireland back down into their own half.
So if we can see how Ryan Jones damaged his knee.
Right, see him up then, Stephen, then we'll start it.
Just a little bit of a twist there, maybe, as he was tackled by Tommy Bowe. Either way, he's back on his feet.
What's back on, please?
100% record as a skipper so far. This will help maintain that. Stephen Jones, second penalty. Early knockings of the second half, and despite being a man down, Wales are now level. Ireland 6, Wales 6. It could not be more perfectly balanced.
Yes, they've adapted well with Shane Williams coming in at scrum half. They really haven't missed Mike Phillips so far. They're probably better off than missing a forward and giving Ireland the edge up front if they can just hold out for another 4 minutes or so.
And attack. Just
terrific
stay
take
there,
from Ian Goff. 49th cap today. Part of the last team to win here in Dublin back in 2000. It's that long ago. Carney gathers, goes on a little spurt from fullback, sees off the tackle of Gavin Henson. Still going, Carney, up to halfway, injecting some much needed life into this Irish performance. They've been on the back foot for much of this game, despite taking an early 6-0 lead. Oh, big tackle from Tom Shanklin there. Dennis Leamy for once feeling the force. Another Welsh player is down injured. It looks like Ian Goff on halfway. Back on his feet now, but still in a lot of pain. It looks like he's hurt his right wrist.
And away, 7.
So they're number 4.
Get your arm out of the way, thank you.
O'Connell.
And away.
Not sure how effective Ian Goff can be at the moment. He's just really filling a gap. This is Leamy. Runs into Henson. Oh, and Wales have won the ball back. This is Shane Williams. Out of the back of his hand.
Hands away, Green.
Ryan Jones makes sure it stays in the hands of Welshmen. Off the boot of a Welshman. A magnificent boot. Gavin Henson. That is a cracker. I watched him wallop the ball 70 metres during training at Sophia Gardens on Tuesday, and the look on his face suggested he didn't do it very often. Well, he's done it again when it matters in the big match.
Yeah, as well as the dispossession of Dennis Leamy as well before that. So you can give 60 yards to Gavin Henson there. They've put Wales right back in the driving seat again.
He's really thriving in this new setup, Gavin Henson. Ian Goff, it's a shoulder injury that's causing the problem.
I don't know, we'll find out once he's up. No, not by me. No, he'll tell me when he's back.
Interesting, Gavin Henson this week, just throwing the cat among the pigeons by suggesting the camp is such a better place for the fact that senior players no longer seem to have the casting vote sometimes over what the coaches decide. Just a sense perhaps that in days gone by some senior players held too much sway within the dressing room, and that's not the case anymore, and Henson is much happier with that situation, and as a result the camp is much happier. His view caused a little bit of a stir back in Wales, and that's Hill 16. All a froth at the thought of this match, but free kick for Ireland, taken quickly by Redden. Wales, terrific attacking opportunity that they've lost. Indiscipline at the line-out, and they're all the way back towards their own 22.
They are, but they have the line-out, and Redden and his eagerness to keep the ball in hand is probably just giving up possession again. That ball, if it was going to be kicked, was better kicked directly from the penalty. Anyway,
Phillips back on. Not only have Wales survived the 10 minutes without him, they've profited. They were 6-3 down, it's now 6-all.
Outside the 22.
There he is. Burning to make amends, doubtless, into the arms of Tommy Bowe. Originally picked to start on the right wing. This is the fullback, Rob Kearney.
And away, Red!
O'Driscoll. Byrne again.
Where you are? Where you are, Lee? Yeah,
Trimble. O'Gara spreading it for Kearney. Not quite sure where he was going there, and he might have been turned, and he has. And look at Martin Williams. Not so much pickpocketing as mugging. Kearney's mistake, Wales ball. Ryan Jones to Tom Shanklin, has Mark Jones outside. Shanklin holds on to possession as he was tackled by Bowe. Phillips. Driven on by Alan Wynne-Jones. Wales are bossing this. There's only one team in it at the moment, and it's not the home team.
Hands away, Green.
Ryan Jones. That's the Irish 22. Phillips to Jones, to Williams. Oh, Lee Byrne aching for the pass that never came. Stephen Jones, now then some width. Shane Williams, always a buzz of excitement. Williams has scored. Is there a sharper winger in the world at the moment than Sizzling Shane? And Wales deservedly are ahead. And Williams pulls alongside Gareth Thomas as the sharpest tool ever in the Welsh box. 40 tries for him. He is in blistering form.
Well, we said there are a few danger signs in that first half, that Wales have the confidence with widths on the ball, but Williams really has no right to get past there, but he does it with such strength. His quick feet, it's very, very difficult to commit yourself too early with Williams, because he'll turn you inside yourself. That's a poor miss by Andrew Trimble. There was no overlap. It was a simple case of beating the man with sheer pace and strength. He's really on top of his game at the moment, playing with such confidence. He can beat anybody. Well, that's a real hammer blow. Ireland have really not played the wind conditions in their back in the first half well at all. They've not got out of their half, and they've not maintained possession. They've given the advantage back to Wales, and they've taken it.
It goes without saying that in such a tight game, kicks like this might be important. It's a really tricky one. Into the wind. Oh, Stephen Jones threads the needle. Wales have a 7-point score, and Williams, for the first time in his career, has scored a try against Ireland. He's never punctured the green defence before this moment, and what a moment to do it. Now then, Ireland. Now then, let's see what you're made of. They've been on a steadily upward curve since this championship started. They've got better and better after that stuttering start here against Italy on the opening weekend. But now, the challenge. What a response from Wales. And this is Jones. Enormous Gary Owen. Trimble. O'Gara within his own 22. Shane Williams, the man of the moment. No. Was he obstructed? The decision of the referee was no. O'Gara gathers. Look at the Welsh forwards, though. They've got the bit firmly between their teeth at the moment. Redden waits. O'Callaghan.
No hands. Kadrack, fine.
John Hayes, the big frame, just making sure that there's some protection for that ball as Redden again takes his time. Little box kick.
Straight out if we need.
And Lee Byrne doesn't need to field it. Ireland are really struggling at the moment.
Well, tactically as well. They're choosing to take the ball through their hands as well, deep in their own half with that wind behind them. And a mistake by Redden gives Wales possession again, deep in the Irish half. You'd have to say.
Receiver, please.
Well,
there's confirmation that Shane Williams now alongside Gareth Thomas at the top of the Welsh scoring tree.
150.
Taken by Jones. Mike Phillips, pre-planned move coming through the hole that Jones had left in that line out, but Ireland were alive to the possibility. Alan Wynne-Jones adds his bulk. Stephen Jones. Gavin Henson. Lovely play from Wales. Henson again involved, and well, Mark Jones had to take the ball off balance, but they are really beginning to flow, and Colin Jarvis down on touchline will be beginning to enjoy it. They're playing some good stuff, Colin.
Yeah, I think they're showing a huge amount of confidence now. 10 minutes without your number 9 and still to be scoring points. It's a fantastic achievement for Wales, and it's just shown now they're dominating territory and possession, and they're playing with a great degree of spark that we didn't see in the first half.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, they're so much more assured with ball in hand. Wales, they know what they're about. Ireland have been a little bit too tentative.
Hands away! Hands away, don't tread on it!
Also challenging the Irish line out now. Stay there, trying to make sure that there's nowhere on the pitch where Ireland can feel comfortable. This is Tommy Bowe.
Hands away!
2 tries here against Scotland. Certainly made the most of his recall.
Come on, side 4.
Needs to try and find something now.
No touch.
O'Gara, who if Ireland are to launch a fight back, will be key.
Yes, it needs to be with O'Gara playing the territory, but it also Ireland's liner needs to step up and really start to stem the flow of possession from the Welsh line. They haven't been able to do that so far, but if they're going to turn this around, they're going to really need to stop the flow of possession to Wales, because with the way they're playing at the moment, with the confidence and the wits in the game, there's going to be a difficult afternoon, albeit with a breeze not in their favour.
Sure, that's what Wales planned, but it fell into the grateful arms of Martin Williams nonetheless. Phillips now, big hole, looks for support, he needs it, he's not going to go all on his own, but he's into the 22. Wales get quick ball here. There will be enormous alarm bells ringing. Gavin Henson looks for the options on the wide outside. Lee Byrne to Mark Jones. The green Irish defence is back. But the initial burst was from Mike Phillips, and that created this situation. Jones to Phillips. Back inside to Alan Wynne-Jones. Phillips again. Tom Shanklin, if he could get the ball away. Shane Williams is all on his own on the left-hand side. Now Ireland have got the numbers across, and the ball was knocked forward. There was another opportunity. I reckon Wales should have scored 3 tries.
Yes, if they'd just got that ball wide, it's a tremendous break by Phillips. Ireland really not watching that short side, the fringes, the way Wales have been doing, and letting him away. Now Williams is on the far right there, as you see, just out of the screen, and you'd have to back him one-on-one with about 20 metres out. You'd have to say it's all over.
Let's go.
But they just weren't able to find him then.
Let's go.
For a moment, there was no one marking him. If the ball could come away quickly, he'd have had a run into the line.
Get closer. You asked me closer. Get closer. Crouch. Touch.
Ireland won't need telling that they've got to pull their socks up here.
You slipped away. You lost the engagement. You slipped your feet away. Faded off.
Penalty goes against Gethin Jenkins, just slipping his bind.
Faded off. He lost the engagement. I agree if he slipped.
Solid kick from O'Gara. It will be an Irish throw at the line out.
Yeah, it's difficult to know how Ireland are going to turn this around. The contrast in two sides' confidence is so clear at the moment. But Ireland need to get a lot more width in the game. They need to be a little bit more expansive. And it needs to start here.
I've asked you to leave the arm alone in the air.
Ian Goff penalised for challenging Donncha O'Callaghan just a little too forcibly. It was interesting watching Ireland yesterday. They all cut a very relaxed pose in the final training session here. They were smiling and having fun with each other, all in marked contrast to what we saw in the build-up to the game against Italy. But whatever confidence they had has been shaken by this Welsh performance over the last 40-odd minutes. Ronan O'Gara, though, putting Ireland in a position from which they might launch something of their own, and boy, do they need something. Rory Best, the man who claimed Wales hadn't been tested in the build-up to this match. Marked 1 or 2 with red blood. That was a well-controlled throw, though.
Hands away, Red!
Can Ireland stabilise themselves and start to offer a threat of their own? O'Callaghan goes to ground.
Hands away, Fort, thank you. Make sure, Ryan, a little, Ryan, move your left foot, Ryan, thank you.
Taken on by Wallace. Barely mentioned Wallace. Barely mentioned him, and in a game where Ireland are doing well, then Wallace is all over the place, but just hasn't figured so far. Neither has O'Driscoll, really. Clever little chip ahead. Was he obstructed? No. Is the immediate decision from Wayne Barnes. It'll be a 22. The locals didn't like it. O'Driscoll not keen on it, but it's no penalty.
And Wales defender, well, Ireland are playing into Wales defence at the moment, and I'd love to have seen the ball from the previous line off the top from Paul O'Connell and get some width on that ball, but they've chosen to go the maul route and taken up through the forwards again, and I think they really need to change their tactics if they're going to get themselves back into this game.
Still to come. Once we're done here in Dublin, we'll be in Edinburgh. Scotland against England, live here on BBC One. And then we've got some round ball, the FA Cup, Barnsley against Chelsea from Oakwell at 5:15. You don't even need to switch the channel. Cracking weekend of sport here on BBC One once again.
And away for
France against Italy from Paris tomorrow on BBC Two. Hour gone at Croke Park, and Ireland beginning to make the comeback with terrific ball inside, and if the ball could have come from Heaslip, oh goodness me. Decision
run at me and shout, or the penalty will be reversed.
Coming up from Wayne Barnes, though. It's a penalty against Wales. It's another yellow card.
Cynical trip.
And Martin Williams has gone. Well, what a break from Jamie Heaslip. He's been at the centre of most good things for Ireland so far this season.
Well, this is the break. They put Redden put him away in a lovely line now, and he looks across and he sees O'Driscoll first. That was the time to give it. Just allowed Wales to recover and defend that, but they've lost another player. They've lost Martin Williams as a result.
Wales, Martin Williams.
And we saw the trip in the background as well as Heaslip was on his way. Well, it'll only be 3 points, but it'll just rebalance Ireland a little bit. Oh, he's got it. For half a second he looked like he'd fluffed it, but we're back to within 4 points into the final quarter. Ireland 9, Wales 13, and Martin Williams is off because of this trip on Owen Reddin.
Well, whatever about the first red card, that was a definite, sorry, yellow card, that was a definite yellow card. Well picked up by Wayne Barnes.
That comes under the heading of professional foul, doesn't it? Reddin was desperate to offer the support for Heaslip that would have led for the try, surely. Williams took the risk, he knew what he was doing, and he's taking 10 for the team. Wales once again are a man down as they try and protect this 4-point lead. This is Trimble. Ireland are now beginning to find their straps. O'Driscoll back inside. Ball's alive. It's well hoovered up by Jones. Henson. We've waited an hour for the game to begin to fizz, and now it is. And this is Williams. Carney, no room to play with whatsoever. Lee Byrne. Taken by Carney. Oh, that's terrific play. On the breeze. Shane Williams scuttling back. Will the ball cross the dead ball line? No, so Williams has to deal with it. Horan gathers. All of a sudden we've got a game. O'Driscoll.
Number 10.
Into touch.
Number 10. Offside.
And we're having a penalty. Another penalty. Stephen Jones offside.
Number 10. Offside.
Well, that was great play again by Rob Kearney. He's really played well today. He's looked comfortable. He's probably the only player in the back three that's shown any sign, any penetration from counter-attacks. A little bit unsure with some of his line kicking, but Eddie O'Sullivan will be very pleased with him.
Okay, scrum option.
And Wales are beginning the plan to make a significant change. We saw there James Hook coming on now for Stephen Jones.
Replacing number 10, Stephen Jones.
And as the match begins to open up, Jones has done his job. He leaves the pitch with his team ahead. And as the game becomes looser, and it becomes more of a game for James Hook to thrive on, the young magician is on with his team under lots and lots of pressure.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Ireland opt for the scrum.
That's his pressure. Both feet went away. No, look, that's where John's foot
Quite
went away.
rightly opting for the scrum.
Just
With the pack shorn of Martin Williams.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. In. Stand up. Don't jump the gun. Don't jump the gun, please.
Well, no, what have Ireland got up their sleeves here? They've got Tommy Bowen field off his wing. They're really going to want to... They'll look to score directly from this. That's a good scrum by Wales, though.
It's a terrific scrum, isn't it?
Hands away, Red, not on the floor.
7-man Welsh scrum disrupting things, but Ireland still have possession. Leamy takes it on. Ball's loose. Well away. O'Gara to no one. Tied it up by Tommy Bowe. Shane Horgan is screaming for the ball on the far right-hand side.
That's fine. First one, knock on off 12 in the tackle.
It's an Ireland scrum.
On his feet, he hit the arm. Just hit your arm in the tackle.
Well, that was a crucial scrum from Wales. 7-man scrum really disrupting that Irish put-in, because Ireland would really have fancied their chances from there. They get a second chance, though.
No, I'm all right, man. I'll take some off the players. Jenks, can I just grab that water? Yeah, number 10, never retired. We made the tackle. Not you went on there.
Oh, we've been hearing what Phillips had to say. Let's have a word with Jonathan, who's in the studio. Are you on the edge of your seat, Jiffy?
Yeah, this is the Shane Williams try, and you know they do well. They've got numbers there. He comes across, just a missed tackle. So that's the Shane Williams try. Great run, good handoff, but a missed tackle.
Pause, engage.
That's a better scrum from Ireland. Redden to O'Gara. Trimble offers himself. O'Gara takes the tackle. Penalty to Ireland. Again offside.
All the front row came up, team going forward.
Now then.
Well, they need to take these 3 points. I'm not saying they will, but they need to. They're on offer. It's relatively straightforward. They've got the conditions. That brings it back to 1 point. Yeah, and O'Gara's going to take it.
Team going forward,
looks
3
like...
and 2 came up.
I think they've got to make the most of Wales down to 14 players, haven't they? And put themselves back into a position to win the game, which they were away from
I'm very happy then.
10 minutes ago. If this goes over, they'll be within a point.
Yeah, they'll be within a point, but as you were saying, with James Hook coming on, you'd expect Wales to be even more expansive. And with the wind in their face, there's only one thing they can do.
Oh, the game's getting better and better, isn't it? Who'd be Eddie O'Sullivan? Who'd be a coach? Which box would you rather be in? The one on the right or the one on the left? Ireland 12, Wales 13. 12 and a half minutes to go.
Ireland 12.
O'Gara clears his lines, uses the breeze, finds touch comfortably. Mark Jones opts against taking the quick line out. Well, the first half was very, very ordinary, to be absolutely frank, but this second half has just taken off. And we've got 3.5 minutes left of Martin Williams' sin bin. One by Thomas. Now then, Hook. First thing he does is just a simple thing. Releases his captain, Ryan Jones, up the middle.
Cleared out, no problem.
Hook. Can he stamp his presence on this game?
Hands away, red! Hands off, red!
Croke Park beginning to come alive as well.
Yeah, Ireland have turned this one over. Looked like Ronan O'Gara dispossessing James Hook.
This is Horan.
And away!
Ireland preparing to make 2 changes in the front row.
Chest! Don't!
Barnes happy with the tackle. Jones. Ireland temporarily are down to 14 players as well, because I think Brian O'Driscoll has got some problems. Just out of your picture. There you go, just at the top of your picture. And Ireland are a man down in midfield at the moment. Can Gavin Henson make the most of it? Well, that was the idea. Little chip ahead, but look at Rob Kearney. Oh, Rob Kearney up to halfway. This is Trimble. Decided not to give the pass. Redden. And the ball was knocked on by Paul O'Connell.
Hands off, Green.
Brian O'Driscoll's back on his feet, but he's really hobbling, and I'm not entirely sure how much longer he can last.
Hands away, Green.
Got Luke Fitzgerald waiting in the wings.
Don't drag him in, don't.
O'Driscoll's defending for the time being. Shanklin.
It's advantage over.
Lee Byrne.
Hands away, Green. No hands up.
Triple crowns ought to be earned. Grand Slams need to be earned. And if Wales are to win either of those, they are earning it now. Adam Jones digs for the ball. Hook. Williams. Again, the sense of expectation amongst the Welsh fans, the sense of fear amongst the Irish.
You've lost, don't dive in, Paul, just stay out. Paul, stay out.
Ball still just in play. O'Connell making a nuisance of himself. Wales get the scrum. Now then, what about Brian O'Driscoll? Well, you can see for yourself, it is not good.
Yes, we're not sure what the nature of this injury is, but he's taken a bad knock. Whatever, as John Hayes comes off and Tony Buckley prepares to come on, it looks like we're going to be looking at another Irish substitution.
This is where he got injured.
And number 22, Luke Fitzgerald.
Such a dangerous place to be as you're trying to protect the ball. As soon as he got knocked backwards, he twisted his knee, perhaps.
Yeah, well, it's certainly a leg injury, the way he's being held off there.
That's a real concern for Ireland. They go to Twickenham in a week's time, and Luke Fitzgerald is on. Rory Best also makes his way to the sidelines. He's replaced by Bernard Jackman. Confirmation of the change as well at prop. John Hayes off. The giant-sized Tony Buckley on. But I wonder if we'll see O'Driscoll again in this RBS Six Nations. Ryan Jones.
Hands away!
Wales are a little under 9 minutes away from the Triple Crown.
No hands!
Everyone of a Welsh persuasion in the stadium, everyone of a Welsh persuasion watching with us will be slowly counting down the minutes. And this is Tom Shanklin. One more score might take them clear. Shanklin options outside, Lee Byrne gathers. Shane Williams, as ever, loitering with much intent. Oh, the ball was lost forward. Knocked on by Mike Phillips. And Martin Williams is back on.
Well, yet again, Wales are able to withstand the sin binning. And you'd have to say, with O'Driscoll off the pitch, the momentum has really swung again in Wales' favour. And if you're a betting man, you'd have to say that Wales look like they'll close this out. They're more confident. They're more dangerous in attack. And Ireland are really on the back foot. Yeah, he looks in a lot of pain there. Whether that's the realisation of the cutting short of a season or whether it's just purely the injury, maybe a bit of both.
May well bite his nails.
And on balance, if Wales do close this out, you'd have to say they deserve it. They've been much better with ball in hand. Ireland really haven't used the space when it's been presented to them. They've been a little bit conservative, and Wales are the ones that have come out to play the rugby and attack.
It's another look at the O'Driscoll injury, and it's the right leg, and it's pulled away there, perhaps by Lee Byrne, but either way, the man who has so often been Ireland's talisman is not a happy bunny. Luke Fitzgerald is on. Matthew Rees is apparently fit and well. Luke Fitzgerald, by the way, has taken up his place on the left wing.
Touch. Balls engaged.
Eight minutes to go.
Back onside.
Redden. Another test for Lee Byrne. Gets the ball and gets up onto his feet quickly and turns back towards his own players. Absolutely textbook from Lee Byrne, who just gets better and better, it seems, with every game at fullback. Thomas forced away. Phillips to hook. Holding up in the wind a little bit as it's taken well by Carney under plenty of pressure from Gavin Henson. Wales with players there, but enough green shirts to protect the ball for them. O'Gara, thrillingly. Remember, they're still going for the Triple Crown themselves. If they can pull themselves through this one, then they'll go to London with that very much in mind. So much still on offer for both sides, and still 7 minutes left to play. This has been a real slow burner, but I defy anyone to take their eyes off it now. Trimble.
Oh, it's good Welsh defence though, isn't it? Ireland really looking for gaps, but there's no gaps there at all.
Hands away now, Jake. No.
This is Jackman.
Hands away.
Redden looking for support, and it's almost as if they're arguing between themselves. Trimble didn't seem entirely happy with whatever Owen Redden was saying. And it's a penalty to Wales. Oh, now then.
Well, he was pointing at Bernard Jackman when he said that. And there's no need for that at all, if we get to see that again. That really wasn't going to achieve anything. The ball is nowhere near it, so that is gratuitous. How badly hurt Jones is, we don't know, but...
Well, Ryan Jones has got his arms up in the air. And that, again, is just plain stupid from Bernard Jackman. Only just come onto the pitch. Dropped back to the bench after he started against the French and the Scots. And at the moment, we've got players littering the field. This has been a game of the highest intensity, and it's beginning to take its toll.
It is, and just looking at those phases from play there, Ireland really not showing any structure or organisation from those phases. They've got forwards in the middle of the pitch. Contrast that to Wales, and Wales' effort to get widths and numbers out wide of second and third phases and really expose the Irish defence and really stretch them. Ireland really not posing any challenge to this well-organised Welsh defence at all, and they're not going to win the game with that.
Warren Gatland has been very careful with what he's said in the build-up to this game. So much attention inevitably focused on him. I'm sure he hasn't told us all that he's been feeling within his heart, but he felt he was treated very shabbily by Irish rugby at the back end of his career. And his contract wasn't renewed in 2001. And make no mistake, a win here today would mean the world to Warren Gatland.
Substitution for Wales, number 19, Gareth Delph. Replacing number.
And there have been some big moments for James Hook in his young Test career so far, but this is certainly in that category. This to give Wales just a little bit of breathing space means that an Irish penalty would not be enough. Where's it going? It's going the Welsh way. It's straight between the posts. It is James Hook, and it's Wales with a 4-point cushion as they bear down on the Triple Crown. 5 minutes to go. Ireland 12, Wales 16, and the sun shines on the Welsh in Dublin.
And deservedly so. They've been good for it. If anything, they'll be sorry that the lead isn't bigger. They really should have been all clear. But anyway, Ireland need a try now. They've got to throw caution to the wind, and they've got to change the character, if you like, that they've shown in this first 70 minutes or so, because they're going to have to attack.
Now try and force Ireland to play in their own half. That was what Hook was doing there, as Rob Kearney finds the new man Luke Fitzgerald, who is a real live wire for Leinster. Just his third cap. This is first taste of the Six Nations, and Wallace knocks on. Wales will have the scrum. They'll be delighted to take the scrum. They'll take as long as they can.
No, he's behind the ball.
Well, he took that ball far too flat, didn't give himself enough time at all, and that's been a consistent thing amongst this Irish attack. Far too flat, not enough depth.
Once again, Kearney's invited to run with the ball, as is this man Shane Horgan. Oh, it's a lovely offload, and Luke Fitzgerald was coming onto the ball in fifth gear, but then ran into the sizable frame of Tony Buckley. Lovely idea. It's just not going Ireland's way, and right from the point where that man Shane Horgan was just inches short right at the start of the game with his own attempt at scoring the try, the tide has definitely gone against the men in green. How different this match might have been if Horgan had scored that try and Phillips hadn't made the tackle.
Stay behind the ball, Mike, get behind it.
Just over 3 minutes to go. This is the man who's replaced the skipper, Ryan Jones. Gareth Delph on the burst from the base of the scrum. Alan Wynne-Jones. And for almost the first time we can hear the Welsh choirs, and they've travelled in their numbers this weekend. The flights from the mainland booked from pretty much Thursday morning. Thousands who haven't been lucky enough to get tickets here in the stadium will be watching on in the pubs in Dublin and just offering a little prayer.
Hands away!
2.5 minutes to go.
Come on, tight.
Jonathan Thomas.
Hands away! And it's counter-rucking.
Oh, the ball's loose. Matthew Rees, who's done a sterling job coming on as hooker right from the start. Not expected to begin the match. Hugh Bennett's got the lurgy though, and Matthew Rees has not let Wales down. The line-out has performed well today, and Rees has beavered around in the loose. Wales are going to be more than happy to play out the final 2 minutes doing precisely this. There's not much Ireland can do about it, Phil.
No, particularly if they persist with this tactic. That'll just frustrate Ireland. A little penalty, it'll play right into their hands, but it's the right thing to do from Wales' perspective. They know Ireland need a try, so they're not too concerned about penalties.
No, he's partner up.
Well, I just think that's been the difference in the two sides today. Wales have been a lot more streetwise. They've gone out to really win this game. They've played with confidence and no fear, and they've deserved it.
It's still in it. Don't go in the side. Don't go in the side. Hands away!
It's in the giant grasp of Duncan Jones.
Back feet, Dennis. Thank you.
I'm sure our cameras have had to move for the last 90 seconds.
Hands away!
Wales are playing out time. It's not the most entertaining facet of the game, and it's one that's beginning to creep in, but it is mightily effective.
Don't drag the line in.
And it's doubly so when you're 30 seconds away from a Triple Crown. And who would have thought this after the wreckage of the World Cup, after the wreckage of Nantes and the defeat against Fiji, and the sacking of the coach? What a difference for Wales. 20 seconds to go, and they're 20 seconds away from winning the Triple Crown. Taken on by Duncan Jones. Into the final 10 seconds. It's all done for Ireland. It's all smiles for Wales. Mike Phillips into touch. Wayne Barnes looks for confirmation. It's a little bit of a pause, but it was one worth waiting for. Wales have won in Dublin. Wales have won the Triple Crown, and they deserved it.
Oh, they fully deserved it, and it'll be difficult to pick out one individual from what has been an ultimate team performance, because I think that Henson, Shanklin midfield were outstanding, but for me the man of the match for one moment of brilliance, which was really